show you how to build it, how to make one. Because I wanted to make my own, and all the ones I was seeing around like Pinterest and various places, they're all built with 2x4s, and they're just like sandwiching two 2x4s together on various areas, and I didn't think it looked good, and I didn't want that. I wanted these cavaletti, and they're expensive to buy. Actually, I think they are. I don't know, I'm gonna look up the price and tell you how much it is to buy versus how much it is to actually make one of these. But this is the cavaletti we're gonna make today. It has 3 heights. Height numero uno, numero dos, and height trace, which allows it to be essentially a ground pole if you want it to be a ground pole. You have a 4x4 on top instead of a regular pole, however you can use a regular pole. Oh, I think the dog's in ants. We use a 4x4 on top instead of a regular pole just because I've been told it's supposed to be sturdier. I don't know if I believe that or not, but that's what we use. And also a lot of people use 4x4s as poles because if your horse accidentally clanks through them, it just teaches them to be a little bit more careful with their legs. Just showing you how the ends are made is that you have a bolt running through the top that sandwiches this 4x4 to this bad boy. You have a big screw that goes straight through the middle, which connects these two together to make the X. This here is what we call a bang. We're going to be using it to get lit. These, eye protection, paramount safety, that way you do not go deaf nor blind. We also have a rubber mallet. I use it with the chisel to tap it to chisel some things. You also have the screw. Don't know how to open this. Clearly I use these often. So you can drill holes to not crack the wood when you go to put the screws actually in. Sometimes it cracks, and it's better if you don't break your wood before you use it. These are to make the hole before you put the bolt in. The chisel, how we make the grooves, or not the grooves, the notches between the 4x4 so you can sandwich them together. This helps get the ends smooth. Carpenter pencil, make lines. This is the screw we are using to screw the two 4x4s together. We were going to use these screws also to attach the top 4x4 to the X. However, we chose to go with these because it just made it a lot sturdier and more durable. That way if I knock it around, it doesn't just break. Whereas these will hold up for a little while, but the bolts ultimately will hold up the longest. I know what this is. Tape measure. Helps you measure things. And then we got clamps. That way if you don't have a useful person like myself, you can use these. So, you got 2 different drills here. One is an impact driver, which helps you actually screw screws, whereas this one is useful for making holes. So like the holes, when you use these different bits I was showing you to make a hole before you put the screw in so the wood doesn't crack, this is what you would use for that, or to make the hole before you put the bolt in. And then you got one of these circular saw to slice and dice. A grinder. This is what we're using today because the 4x4s aren't actually 4 inches by 4 inches like they're measured to be. And so when we got the 4-inch screws, it sticks out a little bit on the back side, and I just don't want that in case my horse were to run her leg across it on accident or someone were to accidentally like knock into it. Getting stabbed overall just isn't great. So we decided to grind off the very tips after they're screwed in. That way no one gets injured. Square. This helps you make straight lines and to cut straight, because that's what we're using it for. And by we, I mean not me. I'm not the mastermind behind all this. I'm just the on-camera presence. First step. All right, we're measuring these in 2-foot sections. So each part of the cross is going to be 2 feet long, which is either 2 feet or 24 inches. I don't know the metric system, so I can't give you those measurements. Pencil, square. So you can move. I'm not allowed to use power tools. To make the crosses, you have to take a notch out of it, and to take this notch out of it, you have to measure where the notch goes. To measure it, we're going to do, I forget exactly how he explained the math to me, but the middle is 12 feet, nope, 12 inches. So the width of these is actually 3.5 inches, not 4 inches, which means half of 3.5 is 1 3/4. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the middle, which is 12 inches, and measure 1 inch and 3/4 from that measurement. So I'm going to do that now. Oh, can you throw away the pencil? Ah! Then you got your measurements to cut and make your notches. I've recently been promoted to making use of power tools and cutting them myself, which is scary and not going to turn out anywhere near as nicely as when I was having someone else do it for me. Which I know DIY, do it yourself. I wasn't actually doing it myself. I was making Sean do it.
Robin.
I'm just looking.
Yeah, well, your hair is down. No, no, no. You don't do this number.
Oh.
You probably just fucked it up. You go straight all the way through. What are you doing now?
I thought I had to recut it.
Why?
I don't know. Did I fuck it up?
No, you probably went too deep.
Ah!
If you go around the end, so you went through, like you went like this, why would you do that?
I don't know. I have my promotion taken away really quickly. We have the grooves now in there, and you're going to use the chisel and the little rubber mallet to tap it through and break all those wedges out, and then you use the chisel to smooth it out. Next step is a sandwich step. Just like so. And then you're going to drill a hole, put a screw in, got a process. The screws that we got are a little bit longer than the 4x4s themselves. We're just going to grind off the tips of these, that way nobody gets stabbed, like I mentioned earlier. Stabbing, no bueno. Next step is to attach this bad boy to those two bad Johnsons.
I'm a little bit too consumed, but every part of my body is telling me to run away from you. Come a little bit closer, yeah, yeah. Come a little bit closer, yeah. You're a little bit crazy. It's been days, but you never change. What's love got to do with it? He comes around, better knock that stuff down. Come a little bit closer, yeah, yeah. Come a little bit closer, yeah. To all my ladies who got a brother that doesn't treat them right, put your finger right in his face and tell that man bye-bye. I'm too fly, I'm too fly. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. You're a little bit selfish. You get mad every time you lose. You can't take me with you. I'm scared you're gonna blow your fuse. Come a little bit closer, yeah. I can really start over, yeah. In the back of my mind, there's someone waiting on me. You're just wasting my time because you're scared and lonely. Finally got some closure.
You guys can't tell I'm getting cues from my cameraman off camera because I'm not saying the right things. The width of these is actually 3 inches. It's not a 4x4. What was that number? 3 1/4? 3 2/4. 3 1/2. 3 1/2. Okay.